My name's Yannig Luthra. My dissertation is about the role of the body in human agency. I wanted to use this time to say something about kind of the big overarching issue that motivates my project. So there's a problematic idea that the body doesn't matter in any real way, which is a strong current in a lot of philosophical and religious traditions. So, for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna tells his divine charioteer Krishna that he's horrified at the prospect of having to go into battle against people he respects and loves. Krishna's unsettling advice is that the body isn't your true self, with the implication that in reality there's nothing bad about what you might do to your loved one's bodies in battle. So, man up over there. There's a related Buddhist teaching that the body is an illusory source of suffering, which is to be overcome by a kind of detachment, which involves recognizing that your body isn't the real you. So, of course, Buddhism and Hinduism are in many ways alive to the fact that bodies have to be treated with attentiveness and compassion. But the idea that your body isn't part of the real you is a central theme in both traditions and surely other religious traditions. Plato and Aristotle also identify our true best natures with reason. So in Plato's Phaedo dialogue, you find Socrates arguing that death is to be welcomed because death means you shed your body, which is corrupting, and you retain your reason, your mind, so you're free to pursue the highest goal of wisdom unencumbered. Aristotle holds that the best human life consists in the most complete exercise of our rational natures, which he thinks is a kind of pure contemplative activity and a kind of union with the divine. Contemplation is supposed to be an expression of the non-corporeal aspect of our rational natures. This anti-body theme seems to show up in Kant, too. So for Kant, a good human life is a matter of having a good rational will, which determines itself freely and independently of the corrupting influence of bodily appetites, pleasures, and pains. One of the few philosophical movements I know of to resist this anti-body current kind of head-on is the tradition coming down from Nietzsche and through Heidegger and Merleau-Ponty. Thinkers in this tradition try to develop an understanding of what it is to be a human being that focuses on the fact of our embodiment. It rejects the idea that the physical body is a kind of adventitious casing for our true selves. I like that one. Your real self isn't a pure spiritual or intellectual being. You're truly an embodied agent. So I think this is right and helpful, but I worry that this tradition goes too far in the opposite direction. It underappreciates the importance of non-bodily aspects of our natures. Or even worse, it rejects the very distinction between mind and body as an unhelpful, unreal dichotomy invented by Descartes. So our values, our plans, choices, and even many of our feelings belong to our nature as rational beings, capable of thought and understanding. We hope to conduct our lives with a thoughtful appreciation of what matters and why, what justice and beneficence demand, and with a felt recognition of the way our loved ones matter in our lives, and so on. We don't do any of that with the body. You don't recognize and understand with your arms and legs. This kind of thing is the stuff of inner life. What we need is a view that recognizes that our bodies matter essentially and constitutively to who we are, without losing sight of the reality and the fundamental importance of our inner lives. I think Kant provides a starting point for developing a view like this from a broadly rationalist perspective. He claims that we have an innate right to freedom in virtue of our status as rational beings, but interestingly, our innate right to freedom isn't for Kant just a right to think or to reason, but a right to free physical action. For Kant, our bodies are implicated in our rational natures. Our activity as rational thinking beings isn't just a matter of how we use our minds, but also a matter of how we use our bodies. So the goal of my dissertation is to take some small steps toward elaborating this insight of Kant's by looking at the way that reason and the body work in concert as integrated aspects of the whole embodied agent.